We're live.
We're live?
Yes.
Okay.
Pat, I want to say
Great.
hello to you. I didn't see you down at the bottom. And good evening, Mr. Guccione. Good
Hey,
to see
Tommy.
you guys.
Oh,
Good to
everybody's
see you.
files moved. Now, Pat, you're up at the top. I don't know what's going on here.
It's
All
good to
right.
be the king, Pat.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to call to order the Suffern Central Board of Education meeting for Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. Let the record reflect all board members are currently present. As has become custom, I will read into record the executive session. The chair will entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of reviewing with acting superintendent of schools, assistant superintendent for human resources, and school attorney specific COVID accommodation requests. Reviewing with the acting superintendent of schools, assistant superintendent of human resources, and school attorney contract negotiations for the RAM and SOB bargaining units. Reviewing with the acting superintendent of schools, assistant superintendent of human resources, and school attorney potential litigation related to FOIL requests. Reviewing with the acting superintendent of schools, assistant superintendent for human resources, and school attorney DHR case number 102000979, and reviewing with school attorney specific board member comments of the meeting on December 1st, 2020. Those items were already discussed. We will not be going back into executive session after this meeting. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you all very much. Student report.
Hi everyone, I'll be going first. So last week, 16 seniors and 54 juniors were inducted into the National Honor Society. The board of NHS put together a video for the new inductees, and this video can be found on the Suffern High School homepage. The National Art Honor Society holiday auction is taking place virtually this year from December 12th through the 19th. All money raised will go to the Art Honor Society Scholarship Fund. And lastly, the Pause for Change Club is having a holiday Santa Paws fundraiser. Homemade dog biscuits can be purchased through the Google form located on the Pause for Change Instagram page, and all proceeds and donations will go directly to the Hightor Animal Shelter.
Okay, so I have the other portion of after this. So junior Emma Muchnick was named the Rockland County Girls Tennis Player of the Year. First team honors went to doubles partners Martina Belvedere and Christine Roseo, and Allison Stray and Kristen Torso were part of the honors. For the second team, 8th grader Anna Loveless is recognized for her singles player, and sophomores Mandy Fleischman and Olivia Nelson are honored as well. Juniors Alana Feder received honorable mentions for her singles playing. And additionally, our second quarter marked its midpoint last week, and progress reports will be going out. And winter break obviously starts next week, so I hope you all have a safe and healthy holiday break.
Thank you very much. You too.
Thank you, girls, as always. And
Thank you.
very best of a holiday season for you guys. See you next year.
You too. Bye.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Be safe.
Okay. 1.08 minutes of the regular meeting of December 1st, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Mr. Shapiro, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. McKenzie? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? Okay. 1.09 acting superintendent's comments.
Good evening, everyone. I have a few comments this evening that I'm going to turn over to some other folks. So first, I am going to welcome Mr. Andrew Guccione, our athletic director, who is going to share some accolades for two of our sports teams from this fall.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to start with the girls cross country team who had an outstanding season this year. They were undefeated in dual meets. They were League 1C champions, and they were Section 1 Class A champions this year. Our roster included Josette Audie, Jessica Corman, Molly McCarran, Eliana Aseline Sampson, Gabriella Gray, Brooke Hirsch, Samantha Horn, Olivia Lucia, Trinity Lynch, Ariana Smith, Claire Stambridge, Mia Bruninger, Lily Diamond, Kaya Duran, Ciara Jersey, Catherine McCaffrey, Fiona Young, Allison Alas, Emma Chin, Catalina Echevarria, Jillian Head, Sia Kordicky, Rachel LaCourte, Kaylin McCluskey, Madison O'Connell, Kira Skoglund, Melissa Tepapan Avales, Samantha Cooper, Caitlin Haradi, Maddie Hirsch, Alexis Robinson, and Una Young. Our first team All-County was Brooke Hirsch. Second team All-County, Catherine McCaffrey and Fiona Young. Honorable mention, Lily Diamond, Jess Corman, and Kaya Duran. And congratulations to head coach Jeff Dempsey and assistants Ian Diamond, Liz Borchek, and Ken Wojciechowski on an outstanding season. Our girls tennis team had an undefeated 8-0 record. I'm sorry if you want to clap. Our girls tennis team had an undefeated 8-0 record. The team won both the individual and team Rockland County and regional tournaments. Their roster included Tess Barg, Martina Belvedere, Madison Block, Alexa Cooperstein, Jess Epstein, Ilana Fetter, Mandy Fleischman, Anna Lawless, Campbell McGarrigle, Ayla Mendel, Emma Muchnick, Olivia Nelson, Emma Popowitz, Haley Price, Christine Rousseau, Allison Stray, Kirsten Torso, and Beth Walker. I'll just repeat a couple of the honors that were mentioned earlier. Emma Muchnick was named Rockland County Player of the Year and First Team All-County for singles. Allison Stray and Kirsten Torso, First Team All-County in doubles. Martina Belvedere and Christine Rousseau, First Team All-County in doubles. Anna Lawless, Second Team All-County in doubles. Olivia Nelson, Mandy Fleischman, Second Team All-County in doubles. Ilana Fetter, honorable mention. Congratulations to head coach Bobby Kim and assistant coach Giancarlo Palumbo on an outstanding season. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guccione, and congratulations to all of our athletes, in particular those honored tonight. Girls, we will have certificates sent your way, probably in the new year. Congratulations on great seasons.
Congratulations, guys, and
Congratulations.
Andy, great job as usual. Keep our kids healthy and keep them active. Thanks, buddy.
I'd also like to change gears for a minute. We have a video that we're going to share that was put together by Rockland BOCES and features several of our students who participate in our BOCES program. Along with that, today that were delivered to central office were beautiful, delicious dessert boxes that I believe Ms. Campbell will be getting out to our board members in the next couple of days. And they're really, okay, so maybe I had a little bite in that little break I had between exec and the meeting, but they're delicious and they were made by the students in the culinary arts program at BOCES, which is the most important part. But Mr. Coronado, if you can load that video, please.
Those snacks
Just managing to share.
those snacks are going to beat the snow, right?
I hope so. Maybe for those of you who do come out, I'm sure Ms. Campbell will be in.
Welcome to the 2020 Rockland BOCES Services Guide event. I'd like to introduce our Board of Education members. Vice President Rosemary Pietrozella, representing South Orangetown. Tammy Bierker, representing Clarkstown. Sabrina Charles Pierre, representing East Ramapo. Tom DePrisco, representing Pearl River. Debbie Gaddy, our member at large. Sandy Jeanette, representing Suffern. Michael Mark, representing Nyack. And Tom Moore, representing Nanuet. We continue to deal with challenges that this pandemic has created. but I want to thank all our partners for your continued support during this difficult time. Our students continue to benefit from our hard work and cooperation. So, during this special presentation, we celebrate our students' success, and especially this year, we recognize the obstacles they have had to overcome to achieve this success. Together, we will get through this. Please stay safe, and once again, thank you for your support.
Thank you so much, Peggy. Please know that we so appreciate the courage and dedication of our Board of Education, and we thank the board members of each of our component school districts for working every day in the best interest of the students and families of Rockland County. Together, our districts continue to put our students first while committing to ensuring equity and access for all learners. Rockland BOCES truly believes in the intrinsic value of all learners and in our responsibility to help each of them realize their dreams. We also reaffirm to you our legacy of quality leadership, instructional excellence done through collective energy of this wonderful Rockland community. This year, Rockland BOCES celebrates 60 years serving you, our component school districts and community at large. The current service guide represents our ongoing determination to provide state-of-the-art, research-based programs and services. These services are driven by you, our districts, in cooperation of shared services that are fiscally responsible. With a combination of in-person, hybrid, and remote instruction, our schools universally welcomed back students in September and together continue to prioritize the health and safety of every member of our community, as well as fulfilling our mission of educating and supporting our learners. As school districts prepare to face even greater economic challenges, the need for BOCES programs and services and the efficiencies that they provide is more evident than ever. So tonight, we share with you testimonies of success from your students and their families as a means to celebrate and give thanks to our collective energy and support at Rockland BOCES. So, our promise to you, we will continue to work closely with our boards of education and district administrations to ensure that our cost-effective BOCES services are aligned with the ever-changing needs of our community. Together, we will continue offering a wide variety of excellent educational programs, supports, and leadership services to learners, families, and educators in Rockland County. So, it is with great pride that we present to you your Rockland BOCES legacy. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "It is today that we create the world of the future." So please join me in welcoming Rockland BOCES' future through the words of your students and families.
Hi, I'm Ashanti Joseph.
Hi, my name is Hayden Wilcox.
I attend school at Suffern High School, and I'm in cosmetology too with Mrs. Turuli.
The best thing about going into school and learning from industrial professionals is that I know that I'm going to go into school and grasp anything they give me.
We're learning about pin curls, finger waving, chemical straightening, dyeing, all the fun stuff.
From Electrical 2, we are working up to our OSHA 10 class. This gets you the OSHA 10 certification when you graduate, and this will ready you for any sort of job that you apply for.
A squared plus B squared.
Dylan started at Suffern High School, and we quickly realized he was going to need an environment with more one-on-one attention and smaller class size, and he was just getting lost in a traditional high school setting. So we went on a tour, and within a few weeks he was here, and the difference in his confidence level and holding his head up, and it was everything a parent could ask. He got on the bus with a smile and got off the bus with a smile.
My name is Jennifer Lopez. I'm from Suffern, New York. My daughter is Samantha Lopez, and she goes to Jesse Kaplan School. I've seen Samantha learn and grow. She's been able to use her Toby, her communication device, where she can speak to her teachers and her aides and her peers, as well as her family at home. The faculty and staff have helped her immensely. They are caring and nurturing and kind. Samantha would not want to be there every day if they weren't. She's super happy to be there, probably happier to be there than to be at home.
I want to own a skincare business to sell products and hopefully one day open a big brand where it could have salons, where we could do facials.
After graduating CTech, I hope on joining the union, spending a few years with them, learning as much as I can, and then opening my own business.
I feel that P-Tech has set Dylan on a good path for success. Here, it just opens up all the students to be more comfortable with each other. They do so many group projects, they have to rely on each other, and it's truly a community.
Jesse Kaplan is very special to us because it's a place where Samantha has thrived over the years. She's become much more social and happy, and it really brings her joy. She gets to school every day and runs down the hall, smiling at all the people in school. It's the best place for her. She's really happy there and loves every minute of it.
Colleagues, stories are powerful. This evening, our beliefs were reflected in the lived experiences conveyed through stories shared by your students and their families. We thank them for their time and their trust. I'd like to close with a few thoughts. Our expertise is both broad and deep. Rockland BOCES knows that we are successful when we collaborate. We bring skills, knowledge, curiosity, and passions of many together to offer educational programs and services that create paths to success for our learners, families, educators, and for staff throughout Rockland County. We are committed connectors and facilitators, and we know that you are as well. Thank you for being our partners. We have enhanced community collaboration with government, business, industries, higher education, and community-based organizations. These enhanced opportunities have afforded each of your communities additional resources and expertise. We will continue our mission to build regional shared capacity for both current and anticipated needs. As new challenges arise, we will work together to develop innovative solutions. We appreciate your feedback and encourage you to visit our programs. If you have specific questions about our services or supports, please contact us. On behalf of Dr. Mary Jean Marsico, our Board of Education, and Cabinet, it is our privilege to invite you to journey with us as collaborative members of the Rockland BOCES family.
That was really nice.
That was a great video.
That was beautiful. Congratulations to our students who are featured. And a special thanks to BOCES who have been working, just as hard as our school districts to make authentic experiences for our students throughout the pandemic.
Great.
So I think that's all I have for now.
All right, great. That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you to the BOCES team and to all the individuals who were brave enough to be on camera. Tom, we have an extra board member.
That's
okay.
the board president.
That's right. Let's move on here. 1.10 public participation. This is public participation on action items only. Heather, do you have anything for this portion of the meeting?
Not at this time, I don't.
Okay, thank you. We will close that portion of the meeting. We'll move to action items. Okay, so this is, I know there are a couple that we're going to pull right off the bat. So I'm going to go ahead at this time and pull 2.01, 2.02, and 2.06. Are there any other action items that anybody wishes to pull?
2.1.
Did you 2.14?
Yep.
Okay. Any others? Okay. So then I'll call for a consent agenda for action items 2.03 through 2.05, 2.07 through 2.13, and 2.15 through 2.17. Got that? I got that, Heather? We're good? Okay. Okay, so for the consent agenda, do I have a motion?
Moved.
Mr. McKenzie, is there a second? Mr. Cairns. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? Okay, 2.01. This is the appointment of the board candidate to our vacant board seat. So do I have a motion?
Moved.
Mr. McKenzie, there's a second.
Second.
Mr. Shapiro. So before we nominate him, just so the public is clear, somebody's going to make a nomination, and that's how we're going to go forward. I just wanted to say that we had the opportunity to speak with 5 individuals who it was really a delight to speak to 5 people who were just really wonderful candidates. And to get to the point where we have only 1 vacancy to fill, I probably speak for everybody when I say this was not an easy decision to make. It would have been a lot easier if we had 5 vacancies to fill. But that being said, we only have 1 empty chair. So I will then at this time call for nominations.
I nominate Darrell Frazier.
Okay. Mr. Shapiro nominates Darrell Frazier. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those against? Any abstentions? Congratulations, Mr. Frazier. We will see you next month, and hopefully you'll have a little plaque by then, although we're being virtual, so you probably won't need it. Heather, I think.
I'd just like to say congratulations also to Mr. Frazier.
Okay. And again, I do want to just say congratulations to everybody, because really it was just a wonderful, wonderful field of candidates.
Hear, hear.
A very difficult choice.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Moving along, 2.02. I just wanted to pull this so that everybody understood what we were doing. We have a meeting. Actually, we should make the motion first. Is there a motion for 2.02? This is a resolution to move the January 5th, 2021 meeting to January 19th, 2021.
Moved.
Mr. Shapiro, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Cairns. Going over the calendar and the dates, we realized that because we typically have our board meetings on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of the month, this meeting scheduled for January 5th is only a day after we come back from our winter break, and we thought it would be beneficial to actually have it a little bit later in the year and give people time to come back, have the right time to create the agenda and get everything done properly. So that's all that this resolution is just to move the board meeting for January, which is only 1 meeting in the month of January, move it back by 2 weeks. So are there any questions or comments about this, or everybody is pretty clear?
Matt, this is the reason why I'm getting a lot of feedback. people can mute, I'd appreciate it. Matt, this is the reason why I pulled 2.14 also, is a lot of this stuff was not on the agenda. I checked the agenda earlier today, and this resolution wasn't on there. 2.14 wasn't on there. At what point were these added today?
2.02 should have been there from day one. That was on the draft.
It wasn't on the agenda earlier today when I looked at it, and neither was 2.14. That's the reason why I pulled it.
No,
I believe they were both on from when we had our agenda setting on Friday.
Yeah, these were on there because they were reviewed during agenda setting.
Okay, I looked at the agenda today and I didn't see either of those, and I don't know why.
Okay,
maybe it was some sort of glitch with the computer or something, but neither of those were on there.
No, I can't speak to that. As far as I know and what I saw when we were doing agenda setting back on Friday, these were there.
Okay.
So for 2.02, were there any questions or comments about moving this meeting in January? No. Okay. And all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? Okay. 2.06 is the supplemental memorandum of agreement for the occupational therapist stipend. There a motion?
Moved.
Mr. Shapiro?
That was me.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I saw him raise his hand.
I did.
The second?
Second.
Okay, sorry. Mr. Shapiro? Okay, well then, I'm going to make a motion to table this item. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
2.06 is tabled. Okay, and 2.14. Is there a motion for 2.14?
Moved.
Mr. Shapiro, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. McKenzie, discussion.
Yeah, again, I just wanted to know why that was not on the agenda earlier today. Maybe we can get a little background on what that contract is about.
I believe it was on the agenda because I remember discussing it with Mr. Kern and Mr. Shapiro at our agenda setting meeting.
Okay.
Whatever glitch may have been happening, this is a contract for one of our non-public schools to have professional development, which falls under Title IIA. So those are Title IIA funds that support that. That's one of our non-public schools, and it's for their professional development.
Thank you.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yeah, I'm looking at the email that we received on Friday, and it's definitely there. I don't know, Angus, I guess you're right. It was probably some type of a glitch because I'm looking at that Friday BOE email. So, and it's 2.14. It's definitely there.
I'm not claiming there was some sort of conspiracy or something. I didn't see it on the agenda. I just wanted to know about it. That's all.
Right. Okay.
Okay. If there's nothing else, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those against? Any abstentions? Okay. That'll do it for our action items. I think we're going to turn this over to Mr. Breen and Dr. Trust. or did Lee? I don't know if Lee, you wanted to do an introduction. Sorry.
Well, I can just introduce Mr. Breen, Suffern High School Principal, and Dr. Kraft, Suffern Middle School Principal. And I'm not sure which order you fellas would like to go in, so I will defer to you. Mr. Breen is going first. All right, he is signaling me. So I'm looking forward to our secondary CSIP highlight presentations. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Good evening, everybody. So I'd like to begin. Eric, it's okay if I take control of the presentation?
Yes, go for it.
All right.
That girl can change colors like black and orange.
Okay. All right. So again, I'd like to thank everyone for the opportunity to share with you this evening some of the work that's happening this year at Suffern High School. And again, as our CSIPs move forward, we always anchor what we do in our mission. And so I just want to begin with reviewing that, just so we look at what it is we are charged with. And again, we create and graduate confident, caring students committed to achieving their full intellectual, social, creative potential and to maintaining an active interest in their own personal wellness. And again, that's been never more true than now, especially the piece with wellness. Just to take us back, we had a successful graduation, albeit individually, but it was a remarkable period, at least for us, to see our students go out during what was, again, a terribly difficult year for them. So again, congratulations to that class of 2020. Some of the achievements for that class, just to highlight for you, the class size was 331. We graduated 329, 99% graduation rate for those students. And again, 70% attending a 4-year college or university, 25% attending a 2-year, 2% enlisting in the military, and 2% seeking employment, 1% for other post-secondary plans. So again, a great class with great achievement. This year, I just want to bring attention for our juniors that are now seniors. We have 7 National Merit commended students. And again, those students scored in the top 5% of the 1.5 million students who took the PSAT last year. So they are current seniors: Abigail Blank, Max Cohen, David Kapoor, Jason Carden, Eitan Rothenberg, Robert Slavikowski, and Jacob Wolf. So I just want to recognize those students and share their names with you. Again, a great job to them. Some of the data, again, as you know, the regents were canceled last year, so we are limited in some of the traditional data I project, and in some cases that's a good thing. So it's probably 25 less slides, but I do want to share what we do have in terms of the AP performance last year. Those exams students did sit for those exams, and if you look at our 5-year longitudinal data, 2020, with everything considered, they did very well. And again, AP exams were optional last year for the first time due to the pandemic, but students did test at home. So the environments and the combination of all the things happening around them at the time, I believe they scored very well. So 83% scored 3 or better, which is considered the proficiency mark for the AP exam. So again, with everything happening, they did do well. This year we shifted our focus as we're coming back to adapting and growing. And so we looked at a new basic framework for students coming into high school. And again, with that in our mind and all the planning that happened over the summer, we're moving into that hybrid learning model with 2 different cohorts. And we've adopted a lot of flexibilities for families. So it's a lot of change for the students. And again, that was one of our primary focal points, so that change could be sort of minimized and we could normalize things as much as possible. But again, we embarked on a 1-to-1 Chromebook initiative, as well as a Bring Your Own Device initiative, both very successful, just allowing students to be comfortable with the tools they were using this year. And again, using our platform with Google Classroom and the Google Suite for those who are remote and in some cases in the building. So a lot of adapting for the students, and they did it very well and continue to do so. The second part of that is the professional development that needs to go with it. As you know, the professional development is important for the teachers. This was a big jump for many to move into the remote learning, and we did pretty well in the spring, and we did get feedback and wanted to make this a much more, as we said, robust remote learning experience for our students. And so we adopted tools, just list a few below, that could facilitate the learning both in the classroom and outside if you were remote or in school. And we found some very good ones, but again, adapting to, going from paper to digital annotation, small things. They sound small, but they were big learning curves for both students and faculty. So we're very proud of the work they've been doing thus far. So the main priorities for us this year really centered around our first, which is obviously student safety. We knew that students needed to feel safe and secure. We went from Bloom's back to Maslow, where we said, the security, the safety of the environment is really, really important to students to get them to come back. Clear protocols and practices for staff, for everybody in the building, and health screeners, temperature checks, all those pieces that went with it, whether they were from the Department of Health or otherwise, but again, all playing together to create that environment were very important, and we emphasized them strongly in the beginning, and we continue to do so. Student engagement, obviously we wanted to get our kids back engaged. Remember, they were coming from 4 or 5 months of not being in school, not even being on campus, and so we really wanted to look for ways to engage them. We heard back from our parents as well, and some students, they wanted a much more structured schedule. They wanted it to feel more like school, with a beginning and an end time and real clear expectations. And we are continuing to endeavor in maintaining as many extracurricular opportunities as we are permitted to do so safely. So that's some of the work that we're continually, refining as we move forward. Obviously, the social emotional impact on our students is something we have our eye on and looking at, and we want to emphasize that as well. So we're continuing with Ruler, moving into the third phase at the high school, where we begin to hopefully engage families in the second half of the year. But this year, we moved our students into this piece, which I think has been very successful. Our peer leaders are now one of the #1 cheerleaders for this program and really have taken the lead. And so they've been involved with mentoring our freshmen using a lot of the strategies from Ruler. And we have another workshop happening Friday, hopefully, with those students. So obviously student recognition as well, really connecting that bond to the school. So just some examples of creating a rotating schedule that worked, maintaining the expectations for students, getting us back on our feet, getting to school, attendance, stressing the importance of being there, whether you're remote or in person, you need to show up and be there. Again, highlighting some of our safety protocols, the temperature scanners in the beginning of as you walk in the front of the building, distancing and really creating a feeling of safety was very important. One of the big areas also for us, if you have a child that was going from junior year into a senior year, that piece about college was really, really concerning to many, and we felt it for our upcoming seniors as well, where we knew they'd be, stressed out. The college application process begins almost right away. And so our guidance department has done a great job alleviating a lot of that concern with information blitzes and creating avenues for students to access information, not just one time, but multiple times, making as much as we can accessible on our website. And again, creating environments for parents to get that information as well, whether it's with financial aid. The other high stress point was the SAT. Again, remember, a lot of students lost out on the opportunity to take the SAT in May, right through the summer. So we were happy to be able to offer that SAT for the seniors only at Suffern High School for our students in September, prior to school starting. And again, the not having any SAT or ACT cancellations between September and December was remarkable for us. We know of many schools that have canceled a lot of them. So our students are in good shape. Our seniors have been able to access those exams, and that was very important to us. We've also looked at, connecting with obviously all grade levels, but again, doing remote assemblies, connecting with them. We've used Google Meet to do that, exposing them to the virtual Club Expo. It's not quite the same, but it's at least exposing them to what's available to them at the high school and things that are happening this year. 9th grade assemblies for our counselors to get to know them a little bit better. And again, guidance did a great job with a new website to sort of funnel a lot of the information for parents and students, which has been remarkably well received. So again, a lot of information, but again, channeling it and packaging it was very important to us so that people knew where to go to get that information. Just some insights from the fall. So you look for pieces of data where you see, are our students doing okay? Is everything online or moving online? And we have slight insights. So you can see on the right side of the slide, where we had 30 to 37% of the students submit at least one application prior to 11/4. That was prior to the pandemic. This year we were up. 43% had submitted an application. So we feel like the information was well received, and look for these types of markers to support that. Again, Ruler is the core of the social emotional learning piece at the high school, as it is throughout the district. And we knew it was important that we reconnect with our students and build that rapport. So we spent a lot of time doing that over the first couple of weeks of school and provided examples for students and teachers to do connections, whether it was creating a letter to your teacher or designing a poster, but just some things to rebuild those connections since students had been out of school for so long. So that rapport was important. At our orientation, again, I checked in with our students. We did a mood meter just to see where they were when they came in that first day, and I didn't expect them to be so positive, but they were very positive. It was nice to see. Not very worried about much, which again was reassuring. Our students were very resilient and they were very excited to get back to school, which was great to see. And you can see we asked what their concerns are in the top two, which is consistent in past years, seem to always be, academic performance, taking tests. But again, that was still true this year. Not so much worried about safety. And again, giving us a focal point for them to target and help them manage some of these concerns. Slight uptick in organization, and we think that was due to, again, being home on remote instruction. So we're looked at that as well in some of the courses to provide additional organizational strategies to the students. And we always ask them what their strength is, and I'm just sharing this because the math department was thrilled that math came up dead center, which has never happened before, but it was nice to see, again, a very motivated class as they came in September. So just very positive. And some of the work we're going to continue to do in this area, again, continued recognition. We just had our most recent Mountie Pride recognition for the first quarter. Virtual clubs are doing well. We've had two very great examples this year. Virtual Civics Day, which really connected our History Honor Society with 40 plus classrooms, K through 8. And it was a nice cross section and our ability to connect with students outside our building, which was nice, and our younger students, our younger Mounties. Virtual Model UN. Again, we hosted a regional conference since much of it was canceled. Then we hosted 3 other high schools, one from Westchester, 2 within the county, and it went very well for those students. And again, maintaining Heroes and Cool Kids, the peer leadership piece, again, the mentoring and those connections and relationships with the students, so important at this point. So again, Ruler is a big piece of what we're doing. I'm happy to say college credit courses we were able to offer everything this year as well to the students. And we even added 1 additional. We had 27 last year. So this year we had 28 college courses for our students. Our most recent one being interior design. And that's with a partnership with Oneonta, which again is a great opportunity for students who want to pursue that career to get some college credits before they leave high school. So again, it's great to have college credits in your core areas, your English, your math, but we are starting to branch out a lot more into some of these elective courses that offer these opportunities to students. And again, we almost create strands and pathways for them to get those credits in the areas that they feel passionate about, which has been something we've been working toward. So another statistic, 73% of the students in the class of 21, so our seniors right now, have taken at least one AP or college level course, and that's up 2% from last year. But again, very motivated class, strong, and taking these opportunities seriously. So it's great to see. So some programmatic areas of focus for us this year, is again, we focus on what's important. We are moving forward, and I believe there's an agreement for you to review tonight from AP, from Advanced Placement. We want to bring the AP Capstone program, which will give students a AP Capstone diploma if they complete the 2-year sequence plus 4 AP exams. Again, we were accepted. You apply as a school to be accepted into this program with AP, and we're happy about it. But again, it's a wonderful opportunity for students that starts even earlier in our current program, which is Cambridge, which is more juniors and seniors. But AP Seminar, for example, would start as early as 10th grade for some students with a research course following that. So it's a very intense, very much like Cambridge program. And if the students take 4 additional AP courses, anything they like that we offer, they wind up with an AP diploma. So again, a great opportunity again for college and to really accelerate in the area of research. It is a humanities-based program, so it won't compete with STIR or anything like that. But it's a wonderful another opportunity for our students to engage in real research and expose more students to AP as we move forward. Our E&L program, again, we're continuing to refine our academic supports and meeting our students where they are so that they succeed in our core areas. And school-wide AVID, again, we're moving forward, taking the strategies that we have in our AVID program, and now we're trying to expand those out into our other seminar and support programs. They're evidence-based, research-based strategies that really work. And so last year we were interrupted a bit with the pandemic, but we were moving forward with developing our own internal capacity and training our own teachers to do a lot of that training. So again, I want to continue that work. For those of you that might not remember, AVID is that program where we target, again, those students who are traditionally first in their families to go to college. They're traditionally underrepresented in higher ed. And again, it gives them the skills, the tools, the strategies they need to be successful students. So think of your academic middle. We want to bring them from the middle all the way up so that they achieve greater success, are able to access AP courses, college courses, et cetera. Again, working with Dr. Trust is going to be great this year because we're going to create even a greater vertical alignment starting in 7th grade all the way to 12th grade, which we're very excited about. So again, a very positive program for our students. I know these numbers, you probably can't read them too well here, but again, my point was to show you that this program is very anchored in data. And again, every year we get feedback as to are we targeting and getting the right supports in place for students? Are the right students taking this course? Are they being successful in the course? And some of the data we have just showing the number of students that take the SAT, 100% of the students are taking an ACT or an SAT. Again, 96% accepted into a 4-year college. So we know based on this data that the program is working for the students that are part of it. Project-based learning, again, another important piece. We've always talked about the Passion Project. And again, this work is tremendous. Again, I want to thank Ken Wojciechowski, who's been the project-based coordinator. But just to give you a glimpse of some of those projects that are happening this year, we have Osborne Technologies working with our global history class with Ms. Cleary. And they are engaged in a game design project where this is a gaming company that design games for students. And again, our students are providing that feedback and again, support for that game to be better. Again, they're trying to reach that audience. So it's an exciting, real life, real hands-on work. The other is the Rumschock Veterans Foundation is working with those interior design students I mentioned earlier. Some may be attaining a college credit, but they're designing homes for veterans, tiny homes for veterans that, again, it's a real hands-on project and great work. So again, just two examples this year. And I just want to close with, again, we appreciate all the support that the board and Ms. Weber has given us this year. Our mission does identify us, graduating confident and caring students, and we've certainly seen that this year, more so than ever. So again, I want to thank the students especially. They've been tremendous, resilient, flexible, but just really amazing this year, as well as our faculty, our staff, our nurses, custodians. Everybody has been tremendous this year. So I just wanted to give everybody a huge thank you. So again, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'm going to stop sharing because I can't see the other screen. So hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Thanks, Pat. That was a great job, as always. You guys
terrific. Terrific, Pat.
Really.
Great.
really
Thank you. Great job. Oh, we still have another one, don't we?
Yeah.
Nothing like following a guy who's been principal for 20 years. Thanks, Pat. Really appreciate that. If everybody's ready, I'll get started. Screen. Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Maybe the 20-year vet can help you.
Yeah,
get set up here.
Is it working?
Not yet.
No, you can't see it.
I can share it, Andrew, if you're having problems.
Oh, great. Hold on, let me try one more time, Eric.
Yep.
Says, hold on. Eric, you're going to have to share it. It says it won't let me share my screen.
Oh, you should share the tab. Don't share the screen, share the tab. Try that. If not, I'll share it. When you get a choice to share the tab.
There we go.
Okay.
You got it. You got it, Andrew.
All right. There you go, Pat. Thanks for the tip, Pat. It really helped me out. Okay, so I appreciate you guys having me here. It's been a great year so far. Suffern Middle School is an amazing place. I'm really happy there. The staff has been great. The students have been great. It's been a ride so far, but I'm really happy there, and I'm happy to continue to be part of the Suffern Central family. At the middle school, our mission remains the same. We're a family of innovative scholars who value creativity and achievement. The school community is there to motivate students to be empathetic, responsible citizens, and make positive contributions to the world. Our vision remains the same also. We want to empower today's generation to become the future leaders of tomorrow. Albeit we're in a pandemic right now, some things remain the same and some things are different in our school. Obviously, we're dealing with the socially distanced learning, which kind of has taught us that we need to be mutually supportive of people's work lives, school lives, and home lives, because at any minute you could be doing school from home, or you could be working from home, or you could be in school, or you could be working in a school. It just changes day by day. So we really learned that we need to be supportive of each other no matter where we are. To that end, we've had to figure out ways to meet the needs of our most vulnerable students. Tomorrow, we're starting our first E&L Parent University, and it's just a meeting in the morning, in person, socially distanced, where we have families coming in just to learn about the technology that we're offering at the school, teach them the basics of Google and Gmail, just so that they're aware of what their children are expected to do. A lot of what we've run into is that when students are virtually at school, the parents don't necessarily understand that a virtual school day is equal to an in-person school day. So we're looking to teach some of our most vulnerable families about that. So those parent universities are going to run for the next few months. First one is tomorrow, and then we're going to go into January because we have to kind of do it by invitation because of the social distancing requirements. Another thing that we've done is we've streamlined our non-responsive student protocol. One of the challenges of a hybrid learning environment and virtual learning environment is sometimes, students just disappear and you can't get any sort of response from them or from the family. So we've created a protocol that starts with the teacher and ends with the administration, figuring out ways to contact these students so we can bring them back into the fold and we can get them learning again. And that's been very successful so far. Some things have remained the same. We still have a very successful accelerated math and science program, and those students are doing really well, and we're very, very proud of them. We have our new one-to-one device program. Looks a little different at the middle school than it is at the high school. At the middle school, we have Chromebooks in 6th grade, iPads in 7th grade,
Chromebooks in 8th grade. Eric really loves that we have to take a device and give a device to each different grade every year. It really, really makes it easy. But the 7th grade team with their iPads has done some great things. So we wanted to be able to support them during this time as well. And then much like Pat was saying at the high school, we've had so much innovation in our instruction. It's almost hard to keep up with all these new apps and new learning strategies that our teachers are doing. Down at the bottom, you'll see that was one of our first virtual assemblies where we had a female archaeologist visit with all our 6th grade classes. And it was very successful, and she was great, and the kids were engaged. And it was a day that nobody was in the building. They were all home, and we had great attendance for it. It was very, very nice. So this is an example of a shift. In years past, this is a project that Miss Pasadetti would do, where she would bring in a pumpkin, and the pumpkin would be observed every day by her students. And as time went on, obviously the pumpkin would decay. Well, in this environment, the project had to be changed because not everybody, number one, was coming into school, and not all kids come in every day because of the cohort model. So it was shifted to what she calls I See, I Think, I Wonder. And this is on a program called Jamboard. The first board you see right here is I See, and it's just observations on what kids see in the pictures. And you can see the oxygen is decaying the pumpkin rotting. I see the pumpkin getting moldy. The next slide is I Think. And this is basically asking the teachers to kind of develop a hypothesis on what is happening to the pumpkin. I think it's because of the weather making it dry, or the rainy making it a bit moldy. I think it's because it's exposed to air. Maybe ants or insects are eating it. So this is just a way for our teachers to create some independent thinking within our students. And then the last slide is I Wonder, which is basically the prediction. I wonder if you can preserve the pumpkin. I wonder if water affects the pumpkin. I wonder if the weather wasn't as bad, would the pumpkin still look like that? And it's just a way an example of how we shifted our lessons to accommodate all types of learners in this different environment that we're in. To that end, we've tried very hard to maintain a sense of normalcy in our extracurricular activities. We have our main clubs that are still up and running. Our green team, which is one of our most popular clubs, has done numerous socially distanced hikes. They've done recycling programs. They've gone to community service. They've maintained their garden. Our Youth Against Cancer has been raising funds to increase awareness for cancer. Our Kindness Crusaders have been supporting positive interactions between all our students. And this year they're looking to bring back the lip dub virtually, that we're hoping to get done for the spring. The Student Council, which is nicknamed STUCO, has been running school spirit activities. We're trying to create this sense of normalcy. We have another Spirit Week coming up on Thursday. Thank you, Snow. It's supposed to be Ugly Sweater Day for our Cohort B students. And then we're going to repeat those days for the Cohort A kids next week. And then this year we started the Spark program in conjunction with our athletic department, just to keep kids moving, keep them doing calisthenics and different sorts of exercise at a socially distanced area. At first they started outside and when the nicer weather, and then they've since shifted inside. I'm going to play a video. Mr. Breen told me it wasn't going to work, but I've tested it out and it did work. So hopefully it will work. If there is no sound, it doesn't much matter, because it's more about the message and the creativity that our students are coming up with, just to create awareness about their clubs. So let me try this. right? Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So that's just an example of the creativity that our students have come up with, and our teachers, really driven by their advisors, to maintain a sense of normalcy, but continue to get the message out about their extracurricular clubs. Two new things that we're working on this year. Suffern Middle School has been accepted as a chapter of the National Junior Honor Society, and the National Junior Honor Society is the precursor to the National Honor Society, which the girls at the beginning of the meeting spoke about earlier. And what National Junior Honor Society is, just an avenue for our highest achievers to be recognized on a national level and start to set the groundwork for them to join the honor society in the high school. The club lives along 5 pillars of scholarship, service, leadership, character, and citizenship. This week, we are sending out our invitations to our students. We have about 200 that, believe it or not, that qualified. And we're going to send out those invitations this week and start to get them into the fold, and then we'll have our presentation of the acceptees in January or February. Another thing that we've kind of gone back to at the middle school is robotics. We have a full-on robotics team this year. There's about 20 students on the team, and they're competing, rather than competing in FIRST robotics where the high school competes. This year they're competing in Coder Z robotics. And the reason we chose Coder Z is because it's a fully virtual robotic competition where you build the robot in a fully virtual world and then compete against other teams. So we have 4 teams of 5 kids each that are competing in this, and they're still getting their feet wet and learning about it, but they expect to compete at the end of this school year. It's a great way for us to continue to have kids learn about coding and all sorts of hands-on technology education. The other thing that the robotics team has come up with, which is great, is they're working with a program called Donors Choose in order to raise funds in this difficult time, where the websites connect programs that are looking for money with people or organizations that are looking to donate. Another initiative we started this year was the Principals Council. The goal of the Principals Council is to keep teachers, parents, and students informed about the events at Suffern Middle School, to create a dialogue between all stakeholders of our school. The council is composed of multiple teachers, a guidance counselor, support staff, 2 students, a parent, and the principal. We've met twice already as the Principals Council. It kind of got off to a slow start because of the late start to the school year and then all the cohort management, but we've now met twice, and our goals so far have been to create awareness about the Principals Council. To that end, we have a website on the Suffern Middle School page, a tab on the Suffern Middle School page. We have an email address where people can reach out to the Principals Council with their concerns. And then the other thing we've done is, because we want students to have a voice also, and email and the website may not be the best place for students. As you can see on the bottom left, we are creating drop boxes that at some point will be put back out in the school, and they're going to have little cards so students can put suggestions or comments in them. The main thing we're working on right now is the creation of a school crest. And if you think back to the second slide of today's presentation, when we talked about our mission and our vision, I do think it's important that we have a crest that states all of our ideals. And the Principals Council is currently working to develop that. Our plan is to have all the stakeholders in the school, students, staff, support staff, have input on it, and then we're going to have a student design contest where the students will design a crest. It'll get voted on, and then we'll have it professionally made, and then of course with board approval we will start to use it. So I did want to throw in some great things that we're continuing to do that we would have done last year that may look a little different this year. Our physical education department has gotten very creative, where they're doing walks across the country, and you can see on the top left there that they've split the periods into different teams, and each loop on the track consists of 1 mile across the country, and they have the 4 different periods competing to go from California to New York. You can see that they've basically hit, the Mississippi, give or take. And then on the right, you see the different types of activities where, so physical education is difficult because of the 12 feet rule. So they're doing more types of strength training and calisthenics, and those. You can see two art examples that have just been amazing. The fish on the left was created in Mr. Blake's class, and that entire project on the left was created from magazine cutouts, where this one particular student went through all sorts of glossy magazines, ripped apart the paper to recycle it and make it into an art project. The middle one, the butterfly, that's completely made of sticky notes. The student took all sorts of colored sticky notes, cut them, and used the sticky part to create this art, and it's hanging up in the school. And then, of course, we have the more traditional art where kids can use their creativity in drawing. And these two abstract pieces of art are two of our examples that are hanging up around the school. And then we have our technology, facts, and music departments. Right before Thanksgiving, I could start to smell the apple pies wafting through the hallway upstairs. So of course I went up there and I was given a mini apple pie, which was quite lovely. And they're still doing their sense of normalcy. The kitchens are socially distanced, and students are working independently rather than in small groups. But to that end, they're doing great. Our tech department is moving right along, learning about propulsion and all sorts of technology hands-on activities, and it's kind of created independent thinkers because there's less collaboration and more independence on creating your own project. And then just today, this came across my desk. The music department has been putting together ensembles, and this is going to be released on Thursday. This is our choir that did an ensemble of Beethoven's based music, and it's going to be released Thursday. It's quite good. So look for that to be released Thursday. So our goals for 2021 are to create develop a comprehensive E&L program, explore opportunities for increased rigor in math and literacy, and a continued focus on social emotional growth and character education. E&L today, we currently are offering an E&L math class that's dedicated to our E&L students. We have seminar classes for extra support, and we have multiple periods of E&L push-in support. This year, we created an HLA course, and this HLA course is amazing. It's run by Anita Ciriello, and basically what the HLA course is a course that's designed to teach our Spanish language learners to properly read, write in Spanish, so that they can experience some success in learning their own language. And we hope to transition that success and that bilingual pride into them demonstrating success and being successful in other classes around the school. Next year, we have a goal to create a more supportive environment for our E&L population, and we want to create consistency across all our curriculum and have opportunities for our English language learners to have increased support in all of their academic periods. And we look forward to having that across all curriculum in all subject areas. The picture on the top there is we created a Spanish language library in Ms. Ciriello's room, so students can borrow books, go home, read them, write reports or short paragraphs on them, and bring them back. And it's all in their native language, and it's just designed to give them a sense of comfort and to refine their skills in a language that they're comfortable with. Increased rigor in math. The traditional numbers on the New York State regions, obviously we didn't have the test last year, but we hover at 100% mastery in geometry, 97% mastery in algebra, and 100% passing rate for both exams. Those are great numbers, and we should be very proud of those numbers. I would like to see those numbers, believe it or not, come down a little bit, because I would like more students to be taking geometry and algebra. And the reason for that is, in students in 8th grade, if they take algebra, for instance, it opens up so many doors. Pat in his presentation talked about all the AP offerings and all the college credit offerings that the high school offers. If students get a high school credit out of the way in the middle school, that will open up more doors for them to take those types of classes at the high school. Suffern High School has an 88 to 90% passing rate for their algebra regions. And of that 88 to 90%, 70% of them get 75 or better on the test. And remember, those are the kids that are not taking algebra, that didn't take algebra in the middle school already. So if we could fold some of those kids into our algebra rates and even bring our algebra rate down a little bit, but give students opportunity to take better classes later on in their high school career, I think it's a huge benefit for those students. And honestly, we want more rigor. We want students to try to challenge themselves, and we want students to think that they can do it so that when they get to the high school, they're ready to take on their more challenging classes. We continue to have a focus on literacy skills. We have an increase in Lexile levels across all grades, 140-point increase in 7th and 8th grade from October of last year to October of this year. We have a flexible AIS model where we have both push in and pull out. We continue to achieve 3,000. Our log on after school number has come down a little bit this year, but I've since learned that teachers are they're assigning less computer-based work after school hours because the kids are on the devices all day long. So last year, teachers used to assign more achieve after school as an extra help, where they're doing less of that this year. We continue to have Read 180, the ENL Home Language Arts program, which I spoke about. And we've started to put some bilingual aid support in some of our classes to help students who are struggling in their regular ed classes, ENL students who are struggling. Social emotional well-being and reducing bullying. We continue to have a number of students who report being bullied is well below the national average, and I have a chart to show on that in the next slide. This is reported anonymously through a student survey that the students take every year. We continue to have our Olveus bullying program. The bullying program is getting kickstarted actually next week. We have our first class meetings. We had to kind of pause it a little bit because the meetings had to be adapted because the Olveus lessons were designed to be taught with kids in small groups. So we had to change that so that they could be taught where kids were socially distanced and some were at home and others were in school. So we had to kind of revamp our lessons. We also have the Ramapo PD coming in for a character education assembly on cyberbullying in September. We're working with Officer Small there, and he's going to come in and we're going to figure out whether he records it and we send it out, or if he does it live with some students and it's recorded for the rest. And then we have, of course, our SMS Mountie Awards. We did those about a month ago, and our next ones are coming up after the first of the year. So here's the chart with the bullying. You can see our trend continues to be on the low end. The national average of girls and boys being bullied 2 to 3 times per month hovers at about 17 or 14%. Ours is below 10, and that's something to be proud of. The next slide talks about students who report that they've tried to stop bullying when it happens, and we're proud that we continue to hover at about 15, between 10 and 15% of students report that they've tried to intervene when something happens. And that's all what Olveus is about. Olveus is about not being a bystander, and is about intervening and stopping something. And if that doesn't work, getting an adult to help you stop an incident that's happening. Of course, we're still doing the LEI, which is the District Initiative for Social Emotional Learning. And these are just 2 examples. On the left, we have a mood meter activity that's done in a Spanish class where both kids in school and students at home are able to identify and answer questions and mark their mood meters. And then it was coming up on the screen in the classroom. And then the board on the right is a magnetic board that's hanging up on the 3rd floor. And what it does is it just gives students the opportunity to take their own personalized magnet, and they change it to wherever their mood is that day or that period. And some kids change it once a day and move on, and some kids move it, a couple times a day. But it's just a way for a student to go over, think about their mood, identify their feelings, and then put it up on the board. None of the magnets are identified to the students themselves. The students design them each, and then they put them up there. So it's all a student's personally designed magnet. And finally, my last slide is just, Pat's probably laughing right now because this is a phrase that I've had hanging in my office. The most dangerous phrase in education is because we've always done it this way. And nothing could be more true than this year. We've had to change what we do so much, from students learning separate, so far away from each other outside, to, taking a picture on Halloween and nobody touching each other. So to the cafeteria, everybody sitting in rows. It's just been a strange year, but we're doing it, and kids are learning, and I saw smiles on faces today for kids being in school, and we're very, very happy that we're able to have them in, and I know that they're happy to be in. And then the picture on the top, I just love. I took that picture. It was like my third or fourth day at Suffern Middle School, and I got out of my car. It was real early in the morning. Don't worry, the building wasn't on fire. I know it looks like it was on fire, but it was the rising sun coming up and right through the windows of the old gym. So then I quickly ran in my office and I took the picture out the window of my office to capture the sun as well. And it just shows me that, it's a great place. I love being there. And it was a sign to me that I was in the right spot. And I'm very happy to be there and to continue to be part of Suffern. Okay. Now I'm going to stop. Am I back, Eric?
You're back.
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Andrew, great presentation.
Great presentation, guys.
Nice,
Thank you,
rookie.
Andrew.
Very nice, rookie.
Really, excellent job.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you, everyone.
Pat, you taught him well.
Good job, guys. Pat, Andrew, thank you for everything you do.
Any, does anybody have, because they haven't spoken enough yet tonight, does anybody have any questions for these two gentlemen?
I don't have a question, just sort of a comment. I just wanted to thank Dr. Trust in particular for recognizing a need that we have in our community with the changing demographics and the ENL class with Ms. Ciriello. She's teaching there at the middle school. It's a really innovative and groundbreaking class, and she's doing a very good job. I've heard a lot of wonderful things about that class, and I just want to acknowledge something that you did that was really, really forward-thinking. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good. I can't take all the credit for it, but the minute I got word of it, I knew it was a home run. Anita Ciriello is amazing. She's a passionate teacher who cares tremendously about her students, and we're very happy to have her there, and she's doing great things.
Andrew, how did you steal her from Pat? That I don't got figured out.
Long story, Tommy.
It's got to be a long story. You must have been sleeping, Pat.
Tommy, wouldn't you want to follow? You want to follow me, or you want to stay with him? Which would you do?
She's just a fantastic person.
Pat, for Suffern High School, I've had the opportunity of listening into the Cambridge program every Wednesday and listening to the various research reports. So really kudos to Scott Kaplan and Jessica Minnick. The topics are really, really good. Some of them are extremely controversial and so forth, which requires a lot of research. But what's most important about it, that's another one of the Suffern programs like STIR, okay, that really teaches research skills that students today need in the colleges more than anything else. So they're doing a great job, and the students, really, did a fantastic job, doing the research that will prepare them for whatever profession that they go in later on in life. So, they did a great job.
No, thank you for that. And they work very hard at it, and the students love it. So it's winning all around. So thank you.
Great. Again, thank you both for presenting tonight, and just a great job. Great job.
Good job, guys. Thank you.
And
Well done, Tyler.
Okay. Let's move on to board member comments. Are there any board member comments at this time? Anybody will have anything they want to?
Yeah, basically, Matt, I think really for the community that's listening and so forth, we should really have some discussion with regard to COVID-19 and the holiday pause and what's going to be going on with it. I know you said we really couldn't discuss it in executive, but we could discuss it in the public part. So can I start on that, or anyone want to make comments?
So, I mean, I think this is, so this is a portion for board member comments. So, I mean, I would encourage board members to, if they have something they want to say on this topic, I mean, now would be the time. So Don, I mean, I guess you can go first.
Okie doke. In short, the Suffern Central School District's mission is to educate students, but it is also a moral mission to protect students, teachers, and staff from an unhealthy, unsafe environment, and that is now being caused by COVID-19. Over 300 teachers across America have died because of COVID-19. That number may seem small, but just multiply that number by the number of years that that teacher was probably teaching, say 20 years. And then think about all of the educational knowledge that has now been lost with the death of those teachers. And that doesn't take into consideration the loss for their families. COVID-19 is rising in Rockland County with 32% increase since Thanksgiving. Federal officials expect that the U.S. will have over 90,000 new deaths within the next few years. Yes, Suffern has had a low rate of infection at this moment, but the holidays of Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas are upon us. I'm asking that the Suffern School Administration go on an immediate holiday pause and go only virtual until January 19th, as North Rockland High School has done. If a child, teacher, or staff member gets sick within the next few days, they will have to quarantine for 14 days and not be able to celebrate any of the holidays with their families. Parents and students have options of attendance, while teachers and staff do not. I know that the administration has done an excellent job in trying to protect the students and staff, but the rapid test is just a snapshot for the day it is given. There are health, safety, and economic costs to staying open, and the district should be proactive and go virtual to continue protecting everyone. To paraphrase one of the several teacher emails to the Board of Education requesting a holiday pause until January 19th, quote, "Are we not worth a holiday pause and go to remote instruction so that we do not risk infection or quarantine and can spend time with our families over the holidays in the same manner as our students and family?" I would hope that the board would ask the administration to basically close down in a holiday pause beginning Friday or at the latest Monday and Tuesday of next week through the 19th. Teachers are essential workers and should be receiving the COVID-19 vaccine as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. Any other board member comments?
Yeah, I'd like to say something, Matt. I'd just like to say that Don, you're right in the sense that it is the board who would make some sort of recommendation, but ultimately it's an administrative decision. It's really not our purview as board members to get involved with the administrative function of the school. With that said, I'd also like to just acknowledge Denise Hahn, who we voted on and acknowledged her retirement tonight. She spent 20 and a half years with our school district, and she was a wonderful school psychologist. And I'd like to thank her for her service and congratulate her on her retirement, and may she have a long and healthy retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other?
I concur with Angus and what he just said, and I just wish her the long, healthy, and happy retirement. Retirement's a great place to be. I wish everybody, please, a healthy and happy holiday. You can't say it enough. The time with your family. I just wish is all the best here.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Shapiro?
Yes, I want to echo Don's comment. And it's not an easy decision. As Angus said, it is an administrative decision. And it's not an easy one to make. We have so many different stakeholders here. We have the students, we have the families, parents, we have the community, we have the teachers, the staff, all of these different stakeholders. And, you know, if we only had an understanding of what this COVID-19 can and cannot do. Yes, the vaccine is there. It will be coming to the teachers. They're an essential worker for sure. But we just, you know, I just hope that we can all stay healthy. Teachers are being asked to come in. Students are coming in, and I understand that, but I also understand that there are less students than we would have expected. But that's up to the parents, and that's the choice that they're making. Our teachers at this point do not have a choice. They are coming in. I know at some point there may be a pause. We have to go by the science. And even the science doesn't have the answer all of the time, but I guess that's the direction that we're going with. That being said, I want to shift over to what Dr. Trust and what Mr. Breen presented tonight. Our secondary schools are super. What we saw at our past meeting with the elementary schools, I mean, really, this district has so much to offer on the elementary, the middle, and the high school levels. We are very fortunate to be part of a board for this school district, and I just wish everyone a very happy holiday and a healthy one, and for everyone to stay safe. And I'm done.
You agree with Don?
Thank you. Chris, anything to add?
Yep. Yeah, first off, I just want to thank Dr. Trust and Mr. Breen for their presentations, very exceptional presentations, and they're doing great work at their respective schools. I'd also like to welcome and congratulate Daryl Frazier to the board, and really look forward to working with him. And I think the seven of us, you know, will work together nicely. And I congratulate all the other candidates as well. And, you know, as has been said before, it was a very difficult decision, and, you know, congratulate all the other candidates as well. Lastly, I just want to, you know, say I fully support the administration's decision on whatever, you know, whatever they decide in terms of holiday pause or not. I took great encouragement in the testing, showing our school at 1%, you know, 20% tested. I think that's a real accomplishment, and, you know, really shows a lot of the work that, you know, the school is doing to protect students and teachers and staff. And, you know, very encouraged to see the rate in the county so high and the rate in our school so low. So I think, you know, that's really an encouraging thing, and, you know, something that should be celebrated, you know, in terms of the community coming together and working together. And, you know, lastly, I just want to wish everyone a very happy, safe, healthy holiday season.
Right, thank you. I just wanted to say one thing, and this is really for those individuals, mostly teachers, who have written to the Board of Ed over the last couple of weeks. You know, we've received lots of emails from teachers, several community members, about COVID and about a pause or staying open, because the fact is we have individuals who write us about both parts of the spectrum, and with, quite frankly, the number of emails that we've gotten over the last few weeks is probably more than I've seen in a long time. Some individuals have written more than once, and I think it's great, and I encourage those of you out there that feel that you have something to say to write us. And the reason I'm saying this now is because I know not everybody has gotten a response back from the board, and I wanted to just say publicly that, if you haven't gotten a written response back, do know that we have gotten your emails, we have read them, and we do appreciate everybody's position. And again, encourage you to write us. We're usually pretty good about getting back. I think just with the increased number that we've gotten and the time of year, maybe it's just been a little difficult to get responses back. But I did want to just publicly acknowledge the fact that, that we have received and read and appreciate all the correspondence that's come our way over the last few weeks. That's really all I wanted to say, was just to address that. And I will then turn it to public participation. Excuse me. This is public participate. Angus, are you trying? Oh, okay. All right. Public participation on any district related business. Heather, do you have any letters for this portion of the meeting?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How many?
4.
4. Okay.
So the first one is from Rick and Joanne Waldman, who have children in the district. Dear Suffern Central School District Board members, we respectfully request that our schools stay open and continue with in-person learning. We also request your consideration to allow all students to attend school in person at least 4 days a week. Remote instruction is not as effective as in-person learning through no fault of the teachers. Children need the interaction and social emotional opportunities that being in the classroom affords. The continuing risk to our children's mental health and educational readiness is too great. Concentration, engagement, and academic development all suffer during remote learning. Dr. Anthony Fauci, advocating for schools to stay open, said on November 29, 2020, if you look at the data, the spread among children and from children is not really very big at all. That is from This Week ABC. And Governor Andrew Cuomo said at his press conference on November 30th, 2020, we know the data shows schools are safer than the surrounding communities for our kids. That was on NBC Channel 2. The evidence that our schools are not a source of coronavirus transmission is plentiful. A study of data from New York State from October 12th through November 6th found that during the 4-week period studied, roughly 80% of schools in the state reported no COVID-19 cases at all. And of those schools that did detect COVID, nearly 90% had only 1 or 2 cases across all students and staff. A single case is unlikely to be the result of in-school transmission, meaning students and teachers don't appear to be catching COVID from each other. Schools are not spreading COVID-19. This new data makes the case. That's the Washington Post, November 20, 2020. Early evidence suggests schools can stay open even in the face of significant community spread, given strong safety measures and political will. As COVID-19 soars in many communities, schools attempt to find ways through the crisis. Science Magazine, November 18, 2020. Allowing classroom desks to be 3 to 6 feet apart rather than the current 6 feet would provide additional space for more students to attend more days in all schools. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends 3 to 6 feet distance for classrooms. 3 feet is the minimum accepted standard for social distancing in several other states and school districts across the country. As 2020 draws to a close, we are increasingly concerned at the lack of traditional learning opportunities for our children. They have missed out on almost 7 months of consistent in-person instruction. We can never get that time back, but we can give our community hope that it ends now. Please don't let any more of this school year slip by without giving families the option to send their children back to school full time. They deserve no less. Let show our children that their education is priority and it's worth working to find better solutions than what we have now. Thank you for your attention and leadership.
Could you, sorry, Heather, could you just tell me again who that letter was from?
Richard and Joanne Waldman.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure I had that right.
All right. And the next one is from Brian Chin. I have 3 children in the school district. 2 attend Suffern Middle School and 1 attends Suffern High School. It has recently come to my attention that the school board has, under its consideration, to be discussed during the next meeting on Tuesday, December 15th, a plan to close in-person attendance for students for a period of 1 month or more. It was advised to me that if parents in the school district oppose this plan, we should make that opinion known via email to you and the rest of the school board. Please be advised, I do not support the proposition to close the schools for in-person learning, especially since the process of allowing in-person learning is still only in its nascency. Further, empirical evidence does not seem to support that the suspension of in-person learning. We have been advised by the school district that COVID-19 positivity rate among those tested as part of the state's requirement is well below the overall average rate of New York State, implying that the schools are relatively safe. If this is true, I strongly believe my children will benefit much more by physically attending school than by learning remotely. I do not believe they are learning as well as they did before the pandemic and do not want them to be any more disadvantaged versus older and younger peers that have not and will not have suffered through the pandemic than they already are. While I am sympathetic to the adversity faced by administrators, teachers, and staff in this difficult time, I moved to the school district because of the reputation it has for high dedication to its students. For this reason, I've willingly paid higher school taxes and will continue to do so to support this cause. If this plan is indeed under consideration, I strongly urge you to reject this proposition.
Okay, thank you.
And this next is from Jim Steed. I'm writing this email in support of allowing students to have the option to continue in-person learning after the December-January break. I have recently been informed that it is being considered that Suffern Central have an extended remote learning for January. I have a middle school son that thrives with the school learning and the student-teacher interaction. Please accept this as my support to continue the in-school learning platform. Thank you for all you are doing during this difficult time. And the next one is from Gabby Blake, who is a teacher in the district at middle school. I'm writing today because as a middle school teacher, I'm concerned about COVID exposure that could lead to quarantine and/or infection as we approach the holidays. As it already stands now, I've cut myself off from all other family and friends except for my 2 children and my parents since last October in an effort to stay safe and keep them safe. While we can debate the infection rates and metrics within our walls at SMS, we cannot dispute the rising rates within our immediate community and beyond. On an emotional level, I am exhausted with worry and anxiety every day by the very real fear of bringing COVID home to my 2 young children, as well as to my elderly parents who care for my children every day. And I feel resentful about having to choose between my family and my personal health versus 6 more days of in-person instruction. My students have the luxury of having the choice to stay home and remain safe so that they can see their relatives and grandparents over the holidays. How is putting myself and my family at risk for a total of 13 students for the entire day out of a team of 70 fair and logical? What's more, the testing of any of those students in attendance is only good for that one particular day of the testing. As we approach the break, people are exhausted from the measures we are asked to adhere to during this pandemic, including children. It's very tempting for adolescents and adults to throw caution aside and gather with their friends just this one time as a break from the drudgery of pandemic living and a sense that it is a treat that is well deserved during the holiday time. And so I am urging you to think about the sacrifices and the extreme stress that the teachers have endured on so many different levels during this school year in order to bring the best educational experience we can to our students. Are we not worth 6 days of remote instruction so that we do not risk infection or quarantine and can spend time with our families over the holidays in the same way that our students and their families expect to be able to do so? The logical, empathetic, and resounding answer should be a simple yes. I hope you will be able to come to the same conclusion. Thank you for taking the time to listen and consider my request. And that is it. That's the last one.
Matt, you're muted.
Matt's muted.
Yeah. Am I off?
No, you're on now.
You're good.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
You're good, Matt.
Good? Okay. I don't know, it was stuck. Okay. All right, thank you for reading all those, and thank you to those who submitted. 8.01 closing comments. I think Superintendent.
Thank you. So I'm going to start by sort of stating the obvious here, which Mr. Kern, you referred to earlier, which is that, again, on yet another COVID-related item, we have a divided community. We did one of our emails, not one that was read, but one that we did receive, shared the sentiment that the teachers aren't being heard. And I would echo what you said, Mr. Kern. You are being heard loud and clear, as our parents who are communicating that they really want school to remain in session. So just like everything else we've been doing for the last 7 months, it's weighing two sides and making decisions. Not everyone agrees with every decision someone doesn't agree with. So there's many factors that get weighed into each of these decisions. With that being said, the next 2 days we are remote. We're remote tomorrow for our typical Wednesdays, and I've already communicated that we'll be remote on Thursday with the impending storm, either remote instruction, or if we really get a ton of snow and power outages and debilitating type snow, we'll just have a traditional snow day. And we're just, at this point, we just really take it one day at a time. That being said, I want to echo some of the congratulations that were shared earlier. I want to congratulate Mr. Frazier. I look forward to working with you. Congratulate our girls tennis team and cross country team who were recognized at the beginning of the meeting. I'd like to thank Mr. Breen and Dr. Trust. This is my 8th time sitting through the CSIP presentations in Suffern. And, the previous 7 times they were wonderful. Informative, interesting. But this year, because they were so different, it's just really amazing to see the growth in our schools when, this pandemic really changed everything we do. So I want to thank both Mr. Breen and Dr. Trust for their leadership during this time and their teams, their assistant principals. Just a really terrific job. Eric, if Mr. Coronado, if you wouldn't mind putting up that slide I shared with you. These are our December marigolds. You may recall from last month that we have a marigold program. Marigolds are the helper plants in a garden that help others thrive and grow. Everyone listed here was nominated by a colleague to earn this marigold award for being someone who supports others in their growth and success. So congratulations. Each month, the list just gets longer and longer. It's such a pleasure to see our staff recognizing each other for their contributions. So I'd like to congratulate all of this month's marigold recipients. And with that, I would like to thank the board for your contributions all year, and to our community to wish you a happy, healthy, safe holiday season, a safe, passing through this storm this week. And I, as always, will continue to be in touch as things change. And I look forward to a nice break for all of us, and a happy holiday season and a wonderful 2021. And I look forward to seeing everyone back in the new year.
Thank you, Lee, and the same to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you all.
And I'm sorry if I'm making,
Yeah,
anybody
everybody.
nauseous moving around my thing. My computer died and I had to switch to my phone, and I never use my phone for these meetings. So I'm sorry if anybody's getting nauseous. Thank you, Lee, for your comments. And I will just reiterate, happy holidays, happy new year. Everybody, please just take take the proper precautions.
Be safe.
Be safe, be smart, and we will see you again in January.
Yeah.
At this time, I would like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Moved.
Mr. McKenzie, there's second.
Second.
Mr. Cairns, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right. Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned.
Good night, all.
Happy and healthy
Good night, everybody.
holidays and happy new year.
Same to you all.
Happy, healthy 21.
Healthy, wealthy, and wise.